Welcome to an Introduction to Social Security Disability by Madison Care Management. People wonder if they should apply for Social Security Disability when they get a serious diagnosis. If you can answer yes to all of the following, you probably should apply. If you have a serious or terminal health condition, you won't be able to work at any job, not just the job that you're used to working, for 12 months or more or for the rest of your life. You are younger than your full retirement age, which in 2025 is typically age 67. Or you have very low income and assets, or have worked jobs that have paid into Social Security in the past. If you meet the criteria for all four of these, you probably should apply for Social Security disability. So, SSI, SSDI, what do those mean? They're two different programs that Social Security disability screens everybody for. SSI stands for Supplemental Security Income. It requires that you have little to no income and very low assets. It often also automatically grants Medicaid as health insurance. Some states require that you apply for Medicaid separately if you are eligible for SSI. Others just give you Medicaid along with your SSI. And the federal payment in 2025 is $967 for an individual per month. Your state might offer additional funds on top of that. Social Security disability insurance is what SSDI stands for. It requires that you've earned enough work credits by paying into Social Security, by working jobs that have paid into Social Security. You can earn up to 4 work credits per year that would count towards your SSDI. Payments are dependent on the earnings that were reported into the Social Security system. Typically, people will receive about 40% of what they had been earning most recently if they are eligible for SSDI. You are required to wait 5 months before you're eligible to be paid under Social Security disability insurance. And after you have been eligible to be paid for 24 months, you will be granted Medicare. So that means you'll wait a total of 29 months before you would be eligible for Medicare under SSDI. Some people are eligible for only SSI or SSDI, and some people are eligible for both programs, depending on your situation. So how do you know if your condition qualifies you for Social Security disability? If you have a condition on the list of compassionate allowances, which is a list you can look up online, there is a high chance that you'll medically be eligible for Social Security disability. You typically need to be both medically eligible and financially eligible, either by meeting the criteria for SSI or SSDI to qualify for Social Security disability. The Disability Determination Bureau otherwise uses the Blue Book to help them determine, by looking at your doctor's medical documentation, whether your condition makes you unable to work any job at all. So either compassionate allowances or conditions in the Blue Book. You do not need to gather your own medical charts or medical documentation. Social Security will ask you to sign a release of information so that they can request what they need on their own. So let's take a look at what I'm kind of talking about. Here is the list of compassionate allowance conditions. This is just the very top of the list. And let's say you click on acute leukemia. You can see there what they typically look at in terms of trying to determine whether you meet the compassionate allowance definition for acute leukemia. There's much more on this page. This is just the very top of the page. But if you want to get an idea of whether you might be eligible medically and you meet the criteria that you see on this page, you probably have a good chance of meeting criteria eligibility. Here's what the Blue Book looks like online. So for instance, if you clicked on respiratory disorders, here's the very top of that. There's adult listings and then also childhood listings. They are considered separately. And then under section, you can see 3.01, 3.02, and you can find the condition that you are suffering and then look at what the Social Security Disability Determination Bureau will look at to decide whether or not you meet criteria as someone with a disability because of your respiratory disorder. So how do you start an application? You have three options. You can do this online, by phone at 800-772-1213, or by visiting your local Social Security office. Social Security would prefer that you do your application online. This gets you ahead of the game in terms of having your information already entered into the system. So it's like you're doing the data entry for them, and you'll have less of a wait to actually complete your application if you complete it online. So, what should you do in order to apply for Social Security disability? What are some tips? First, gather all the information suggested in the Adult Disability Starter Kit. There's also a Child Disability Starter Kit. It offers a checklist of information to gather and some worksheets to help you fill out the information that they will be asking for. If at all possible, apply online. Provide as much information as you can. You are providing them a roadmap for looking at your medical charts to gather the information that would help them determine whether you actually are someone living with a disability who is unable to work any job. Even if it feels irrelevant or unnecessary, provide every place you've ever received psychological care, medical care, anything that might point toward that you have the criteria and qualify for a disability. Open all of your mail and answer all of your phone calls. This is really key. People get overwhelmed and they stop opening their mail. The mail piles up and they miss deadlines and their case gets closed. They don't answer phone calls and their phone screen or phone interview with Social Security is missed, and it's very difficult to reschedule if you don't answer phone calls. Answer your phone, open your mail. This is probably the top tip here. Here's what the Adult Disability Starter Kit looks like. This is the checklist at the beginning. It helps you gather all of your information. If you do gather all of the information on this worksheet and checklist, your application will go much more smoothly and much faster. People have told me they can complete the application in about 45 minutes if they have all this information gathered. If they don't, I hear 4 hours or more to get it done, and having to, log back into the system online or call people back. It just takes much, much longer. Could take days if you don't have your application all ready to go and your information all set before you start. Additional helpful information. Sometimes people get what looks like a denial in the mail from Social Security. This might be because you are not eligible for SSI, the program that requires you to have low income and low assets. It will then trigger a letter from Social Security denying your application for SSI. That does not mean you are not eligible for SSDI if you otherwise meet all the criteria. So look carefully. If you get a denial letter, does it say it's for supplemental security income or for Social Security disability insurance, SSI or SSDI? It's very possible that if you will be denied for SSI if you don't have low income and assets, but you will be approved for SSDI if you've worked enough credits and paid into the Social Security system. There might be many months wait for you to receive information about whether your application has been approved or not. This wait time should be reduced if you do have a condition on that list of compassionate allowances, or if it appears that you may have a terminal illness that would end your life within the next 12 months. You should have a shorter wait time for a compassionate allowance or a terminal illness. Otherwise, you may wait 5 months or more to hear whether your application has been approved. Some people do hear sooner than that. And some people do wait longer or have to appeal a decision if they truly are disabled, but the Social Security Administration decides that they are not. Make sure that you always update Social Security if your phone number changes, if your email address changes, if your mailing address changes. make sure you update them. Also, please update them if it turns out that you are able to work and you wouldn't meet the criteria for Social Security disability because you are working. Some people find that they are able to work and they actually don't need Social Security disability. Please let them know so that they don't approve your application and start paying you, and then you are in a position where you would have to pay back any amount that they pay out to you when you weren't actually eligible because you were working or because you got better. You really have to be unable to work for 12 months or more. So if suddenly you find yourself able to work after 6 months, make sure Social Security knows so you're not in a position of paying them back. If you are unable to work for 12 months or more, but then you do get better, Social Security offers what they call a trial work period. So make sure you tell them, I want to try working again. They will start a trial work period, which is typically 9 months, where they continue to give you your Social Security disability payments while also letting you work. If your income gets over a certain level, they stop the payments, but they may continue. So, Medicare, if you've gotten to the point where you receive Medicare. So there are many intricacies to know about the trial work period program. Just know that they will let you try working, and if it does not work out, you just let them know, I guess I can't work, and they will just continue providing the Social Security disability as they were before you started trying to work. Let me help you with this one-on-one. I have done this for many years and enjoy helping people navigate Social Security disability. Call me at 608-285-2253 or email me at madisoncaremanagement@gmail.com.